Hey, this is Bobby Davis from the founder of Coder Foundry, and we're here in a brand new year, 2021. And if you saw a 2020 video I made last year, I said 2020 be a great year, and I still think 2021 is going to be a great year. Hopefully, we don't have any new pandemics. But I'm joined here by Kevin Doyle. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. That 2020 is going to be a good year video didn't age very well, did it? Like it was. I think we're about.
I get that comment every day.
I think we're about 5 months in, and people started posting on that video and being like, "This isn't going well, is it?" Like we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe next year.
2021. So like it's
Exactly.
the new year.
I get 2020. Let's go to 2021. So we're back. This is our first one.
That's our first one for the year. First one in a couple of weeks. It seems like you were on vacation over the Christmas break. We took some time off.
Yep. Not that I went anywhere.
Yeah.
Stayed home and played games. I played on the Oculus. Man, I'm addicted to that thing. It's so good.
Okay. Population 1.
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay.
It's just so much fun. Yeah, it's a good time.
So we've got a great show today, but I have a tip for everyone that lives in the U.S.
You do. You gave me this tip this morning. It was literally one of the first things you said on the call this morning. It's like a hot tip for you. And it was like, do you like coffee? I'm like,
do you like coffee? And so 2021 or 2020, the reason I brought that up, and last year, one of my New resolutions was to quit eating fast food and quit drinking energy drinks and get on a better diet. And I've lost weight and those kind of stuff, but I replaced my energy drinks with chai latte. So I don't know if I really like if it's one is better than the other. I've been going to Starbucks, and so it's like $4.50 or whatever, and so if you're drinking that every day, you're spending a lot on coffee. And so Panera Bread, and I'm not sponsored by Panera. I wish I was.
Panera.
So if you're watching, hook me up. They'll give you free coffee for $8.99 a month, and that includes my chai latte for $8.99 a month.
And it's unlimited, right?
Unlimited, but I just need one per day. If you just did one per day, that's a good. So that's my tip.
It's amazing.
That's going to make 2021 a great year by getting free coffee from Panera Bread if one's near you in your area.
So here's what I noticed when I went and looked at this thing, and me being me, I was like, hold on a minute. The first 3 months are free.
The first 3 months are free.
It's not even $8.99 for the first 3 months. I'm like, hold on a minute. You know how many cups of coffee that is? Like,
yes.
free coffee for 3 months, a whole quarter of free coffee? Like Panera, we're hooking people up apparently.
So you're just going to sign up for 3 months and then quit it to get that absolute bargain hunter that you are. So
maybe I'll give them the one $8.99 for the next.
Give 4 months for $8.99.
So I don't know how that works. I don't know if you can sign up and it is genuinely free or it's a prepaid thing. I'm not sure. But $8.99 for coffee is a good deal. It's
a good deal if you do it. So anyway, that's my tip for the day. I do think that 2021 is going to be a great year, Kevin. I really do. I feel it, just like I did last year. And in spite of the pandemic, there's a lot of good things that happened to us in the last year. I mean, so a lot of people, because we were forced to go virtual, we met a lot of national and international students that came through the bootcamp over the last year, which normally we wouldn't have done. Normally, you had to drive and come to the tech capital world of Kernersville to take our class.
So my guess is that our guest here today probably wouldn't have come to Coder Foundry had we not.
No way would have met her. And as you can see when you see her portfolio, our guest is an amazing person, Shyann Jobe, and so we can't mispronounce her name, but we're going to ask her about her nickname that she had as a child, which I think is funny. Let's welcome Shyann Jobe to the show.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me, Bobby. Thank you, Kevin. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, don't be nervous. It's just you and me and Kevin.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the coffee too. I've had coffee this morning as well. I probably need to get my own subscription to Panera Coffee. Everything these days is going to that subscription service, so do that too.
And even in Kernersville, man, you can drive up and stay in the car, and they've got curbside service.
I could have, with that Panera subscription, maybe I could have made it all the way to Coder Foundry and drove across the country to get there.
Right.
Give me the energy to make it.
Yeah. So when we went virtual, one of the benefits we had was we started reaching out to people across the U.S. And you being in California, that allowed you to come to Coder Foundry. So we're honored that you trusted us to teach you what you're doing. But you've got an amazing background. So you did something that we absolutely say, don't do this. Don't try this at home. Yeah. So if we could put the thing on there, You went to college
Typical.
and took the boot camp and passed both. So like we tell a joke around here. There's a guy here that came through here, and I don't want to out him, but he literally his hair turned gray while he was in the boot camp because he was working and trying to go to the boot camp at the same time, and it's so difficult. And so you graduated with your associates in information technology and engineering during when you're trying to build the bug tracker, which is in Coder Foundry world. That's like the big thing.
The biggest part of it.
Yeah.
The craziest thing to do. Yes,
Okay, that's cool. So what we want to do today is look at the stuff you've built. You're obviously in the job market looking. So if you're out there and you're hiring, you need to hire Shyann Jobe. But before we get to that, let's talk about that nickname that you had, because Kevin's jealous of it.
Oh
so your name is Shyann Jobe. It's not Jobe, right?
It's Jobe. It's not Joby. It's spelled with an E at the end, and it's been mispronounced my entire life as Joby.
Right.
And when I was in high school, very weird. My life has gone in so many different paths. I thought I was going to actually go into the Navy. So when I was going into the military, trying to go into, my recruiter there kept mispronouncing my name. He was like, Shyann Jobe. And I'm like, it's Jobe, it's Jobe. He's like, I like Joby, it's better. And they have to call you by your last name in the military.
Right.
They're always like, Joby, Joby. I'm like, it's Jobe. And they're like, it's Joby 1 Kenobi. And like, it just stuck. And I was like, I'm going to stick around and see if I can handle this. The force was not strong enough with me. I could not stay in the military, but it was a cool little nickname I inherited for a time.
It's the world's greatest nickname.
I don't mind. It is pretty cool. I don't mind now when people mispronounce my name. So
yeah, Joby 1 Kenobi is an amazing nickname.
It's amazing. So what I'm asking for, chat, is I want a Kevin-based Star Wars nickname. I need one. Give me a good one.
So if Kevin was a Jedi, what would be his Jedi name? So
I need a Joby 1 Kenobi equivalent, if you will.
So Doyle or Kevin, it's got to rhyme too. So like I don't know, Doyle may be easier to do it
nothing
with. So.
Jabba the Hutt related. That's just me.
No, that's me.
Like, that's got to be Jedi.
We said Jedi name, so like
There's definitely something in there. You just gotta look around.
Somebody will come up with it.
So anyway, well let's take a look at your portfolio, because we want to see kind of what you build in the class so that we can show people the kind of skills that you've acquired, and then we'll talk a little bit more about your background as we go. So let's check out Cheyenne's portfolio here.
Yeah. Let me pull that up here. There we go.
And if you want to look at this, there's a URL that you can go look at it. I think Kevin can put it in chat. And
yeah, I will.
Yeah, it's coderfoundry.com /Shyann Jobe or cheyenne.netlify.app.
Okay.
So when you do come to this page, actually on my portfolio, you'll see this landing page that I've designed here. There's some parallax layers here, the shapes moving around, and I did design this graphic. This is my real signature. And then I've got little buttons here to my LinkedIn and my GitHub if you're interested in checking those out. And I have a hire me button that will jump you to the bottom of the page. So you can send me an email if you want to work with me. It'll go directly to my email and I'll see it immediately, get a little thing on my phone. But you can come back up to the top and I have this little about section. So as you guys, if you're watching this, you probably already know, I live in California. And I recently graduated online from University of Phoenix and Coder Foundry Bootcamp. And so I have a link here to my resume. You can click on it and it'll take you to a Google Drive page that you can download it. Here.
Did you get a pro headshot, by the way? I have to ask.
I didn't. This is my mom. Shout out to my mom.
Man, your mom needs like water sometimes.
I know. My
mom gets props. Got the lean going on. You got the lean.
Yes,
no,
I like it.
But that shows you like what you can do. Like, and this is what we suggest people do is like you can take you don't need a professional headshot. You can take something at home, get a family member to do it, and it looks great. Exactly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I'm sure my mom appreciates it too.
Yeah.
She definitely has the photography skills. But here's the pride and glory of Coder Foundry, the sum of what I've created from Bootcamp.
Right.
And I've got my my bug tracker here. You can click on, these are all pop-up cards that bring up modals. I have my address book that I designed, and I also have my blog, the Git post. So you can all go view those live applications. For these full stack projects, however, all of the Gits are private. So if you are interested in seeing some of those codes, you can reach out to me directly and I'll be more than happy to share that code with you.
All right, cool.
Right down here, though, are those smaller coding challenges that I had completed during my time in Bootcamp. These are all JavaScript challenges to practice my algorithm challenges and skills. So we do have a loan calculator here. And then we also have, oh my gosh, my monitor. I got 2 monitors for Christmas. And I'm like confused on which one I am on now. But then I also have like the Fizz Buzz, the longest word in a string. All of these bring up different modals, and you can go and view those challenges as well. I also have some blog posts down here. It'll take you to the Git post, and you can view those. A cute little carousel of my tech stack that I use. And then again, down here, you can send me an email.
Cool. And you did all the like the logo work on all of these modals?
Yes, I did all the logo and graphic work. I redesigned these here for little copyright things, but I have a little fun with it. But all of this is my handwriting, and I really wanted to keep it like a fun, colorful but minimalistic theme. That's just my personal style, but I'm really willing to. Of course, I can do any style, but this is just how I decided to do it for Coder Foundry.
So teach me something. So how are you capturing your handwriting? Are you using a tablet or are you? Or okay.
I have a Surface Pro, and I use Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator to do all of my graphics. So I've got, my tablet and my stylus. I'll draw stuff out in Illustrator. And then once I get like a base, something I want to work with in Illustrator, I'll take it over to Photoshop and I'll work on those layers a little bit more, change things around, and then really kind of put it together into the thing that I actually want for that final image.
That's impressive. I have a Surface and I have a hard time drawing anything that looks remotely good at all.
Honestly, you got to just try and make your handwriting look pretty. That's really what I was doing here. I'm like, if I can just, do a little flourish here and there, that could look like a good graphic. So I think the thing about graphics is having a clear, simple design that stands out. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. It could just be your handwriting. And if you just make it clear and bright, it could be visually pleasing.
And here's a couple of compliments for you. Look, Andrea said your handwriting is insane, and I'm hoping he means that in a good way, not a bad way.
That he does, yeah.
I hope so. Thank you.
And then our friend Alex, Tech Rally, he wants to know what your background is because he says the graphics are amazing. So we talked about this a little bit before. I asked you the very first time I saw your portfolio, I think in week 2, I was on the review team for that week. And I was like, I asked you the same question. I was like, you have a background in graphic design, right? That was just my assumption straight out of the gate. I was like,
so I don't really have a professional graphic background. It was really just a hobby thing. When I was a child, my dad got me a copy of Photoshop, and I was just really into the internet at the time. MySpace was a thing, and I just wanted to learn how to make cool images, and I loved it. I've been doing it for years now, and I can't recommend it more. It's such a wonderful software. Like, I just use it all the time for fun. So I mean, I just love messing around in Photoshop.
Listen, kids, if your dad's not getting your Photoshop for Christmas, you need to have a talk with him. So yeah,
it's $20, not sponsored.
But she's completely self-taught on the graphic design, which is really good. So it's really cool. I like it.
So I actually took that, and I'll show you here my bug tracking application that I built in Coder Foundry. This is, I'm still logged in. Ha ha ha. I was messing around in here earlier. This is the main dashboard, but I'll show you the landing page here. All of these graphics in here I designed as well. So this is the landing page that you come to when you're not logged in, and you come to my Coder Foundry color-coded application is what I called it. I decided to really lean into that brightness. Thank you.
It's good.
So this is I think, the best full stack application I've developed. It has an operational database. It has authenticated user accounts and authorized user roles that those accounts are assigned to. It's based around object-oriented programming. So this whole thing was designed in ASP.NET MVC. The back end is written in C#, while the front end is JavaScript, HTML5, CSS3, a little bit of jQuery with a Bootstrap 4 template. And then while I was developing this, I used actually the Microsoft local database during development. But when I pushed this onto the Heroku server that it's on now, I ended up switching it over to PostgreSQL, and I'm managing that with PG admin. So that's the tech stack that this is using, but we can log in here and we can actually go to these accounts. So when we came here, I was logged in as a demo admin, but I do have other demo accounts that you can see here. So this entire application is meant to track your team's progress. It's a business solution to work on projects remotely and to better increase those projects' effectiveness by clearing out errors and stuff. It's an issue tracking system. So the way that that's managed is by tickets and a hierarchy of user roles. When you create a new account, you automatically are assigned as a new user role. And what that role means is that you can view tickets and you can view projects, but you're not really going to be able to do much more. You can leave a comment in case you need to interact with your team in your company before the boss has had a chance to give you a role, but that's about it. Then we're looking at what the actual team members, employees in your business would be using this application for. So we have a submitter role, and a submitter is something like a quality assurance position. They're able to create tickets and submit tickets so people can see what's going on. Developers can also create tickets, but they are the ones working on those, so they have the ability to edit them. Then we have project managers, which are the leads for different teams within your business. And project managers have the ability to do everything that the users below them can do. However, they also can assign developers and submitters to projects and tickets. And they can also edit the details of a project and edit the details of a ticket as well. And then an administrator is like your top boss, like Bobby. He would be the one who would tell the project leaders, hey, you're going to work on this project, you're going to work on this project, and they're the only ones that can create projects and delete projects. So we'll go into that administrator demo right here. And we'll look at that dashboard again. It is a little slow to load because I'm on the free Heroku dyno, so there's like a little bit of lag there. But when you do come in, you'll first see this little pop-up to let you know you're signed in as a demo user and that none of the changes that you're making will be saved to the database. You can just clear that out of the way. But we can also see here these Morris charts. Now, these Morris charts are implemented into the dashboard through a JavaScript library, and we can see all the tickets in the application sorted by priority, status, and type. And we can hover over them and we can see how many tickets of each type or priority are currently in the system. And these are dynamic. They autofill and populate with whatever tickets you have. So since we are signed in as a admin, we can come up here, we can see the little user icon. We could log out if we wanted to, or we could come in here and change our user details, our email address, our password, things like that. But as an administrator, and you'd have control of all the user database. So in the navigation, you can come here to the user roles and view all the users in your system. And you can click on these roles and bring up a little modal and change their role here. I'm not going to do it now because none of these changes will be saved since we're in a demo, but we can bring up the nav again and go to the project menu. So here's where all the projects in the system are kept. We can see as an administrator, we have an access to an add a new project button. Only we can see that at being authorized as an administrator, and only we can see these delete buttons here being authorized. No one else has access to this. Project managers are the only other ones besides administrators who can see these edit buttons here. But everyone can go and view details of certain projects. So we can go in here to this example project. We can see the name of the project up top, how many tickets are populated inside this project, a description and an image that we've uploaded for the project. And down here, we have a jQuery data table, which is sortable of all tickets inside this example project. We do have the administrator controls right here. These are basically user controls. These buttons will change depending on what user role you're signed in. And we can also see team members for projects, project managers, developers, and submitters. Your username, your display name, and your email will automatically populate into whatever these categories are, depending on what role you're assigned as.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also can go in here and immediately access these tickets. We can look at these ticket details, and we can see all of these stats. So I mentioned earlier I designed this in MVC, and I kind of want to take a minute here to talk about that because I think the ticket is a really good example of that. Because what we're looking at right now, we're literally looking at a view. But what is that? It's a display of information. But we don't really get to see any of this information until we make a call to a controller first. And so MVC, Model View Controller, a user makes a request to a controller to go into the database. It's like the hands, and it's grabbing information based on models. What we just did is we made a request to the controller to get this ticket model. And now we've pulled back all of this information. It has properties like the date it was created, the parent project, the description, the title of it. This is all information that's kept in the database. And so when we came to this page, our controller went into the database, grabbed that information and pulled back all this property information, for example, ticket 1, and rendered it here on the page, giving us the view. So we can see all those properties. We can come here and leave comments. We could also, project managers and administrators have a little ability to delete comments with the trash can. All users can hide them or clear these out of their way if there's like a conversation going on, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily deleted. You can come up here to attachments, add more attachments, and view them in modals, and you can remove them from the modal directly. And finally, we've got a history page, which is like a transactional log of all the changes that have been made on the ticket. And so this is also sorted by jQuery data tables.
This is cool. So if somebody comes in and deletes the thing and said it was never there, you're like, hold on a minute.
Exactly. Yeah.
I still deleted that.
Mm-hmm. Or if something, gets changed that wasn't supposed to be changed, and you're like, oh no, we now have a new error on this ticket. Or who did this? What happened? When did this occur? You can come into this log and see the history of who made the change, what the old value was, what the new value is that took it, what that particular property was, and when the change happened.
That's cool.
Okay, cool.
And then on the tickets index page, this is just all the tickets in the system, giving that dyno a second to wake up. We can come in here, and again, we can see everyone has access to a ticket index page. We can pull up all the tickets in the system. Everyone who can create a ticket can see this create a ticket button here. However, only administrators can actually see these buttons as well. And what these are for, on that dashboard, those Morris charts, you can create new categories. So you could create new ticket priorities, new statuses, or new types. These are all in modals as well. All these CRUD operations are done directly here in these modals. And it's dynamic, so it automatically updates on the dashboard. You could have one singular ticket type, and that's what would show on the dashboard.
Okay, cool.
That's about it on my bug tracker, unless you would like to see.
Yeah, let's look at a ticket detail, like where you edit a ticket. You can look at that too,
Sure,
right?
yeah. You want to see it as a different user?
Either way you want to do it, yeah.
Okay, I'll go into a developer actually, and we'll check out their permissions and go into their tickets. So, because this actually does change as well on the navigation, where the administrator gets access to all users in the database. It changes for developers and project managers to just their tickets or the projects that they manage. So look, we can see here that those priorities and status and types are gone, and the delete options are gone now because this role does not have access to it. But we can come in here and edit and see what an edit view looks like. Now, again, this is a demo account, so none of these changes will actually be saved in the database, but this is where you could come in and save those.
Okay, cool. So you change your description, change the status. I've closed it out. I'm done now.
Yep.
Cool.
It's a very slow for some reason. I don't know why.
It's just 0 dynos. So that's
0 dynos.
Which
and we can see as well that there are some tickets that this user does have access to deleting, and that's because of those assignments, the projects that they're assigned to.
right.
But they don't have to access to edit or delete others.
Yeah. So Tech Rally's got a question about dynos. I'll take that one.
Yeah, this is an opinion.
Yeah.
Pay for it. I don't know, how much are they? Do you know?
$7 a dyno. The reason we do that, Tech, is just so that we have a free option for everyone that comes to Coder Foundry, so you don't have to pay for hosting, and it's better to have a slow dyno than nothing to show because you're paying it on Azure or somewhere else. But yeah, it's we're one of the first people, I think, that has actually pushed .NET Core to Heroku, which is kind of cool. So Joanne's figured all that stuff out using containers and stuff.
Yeah, because it's not officially supported, is it?
Yeah,
So,
no, it's not.
we looked at it and I was like, oh, it's not on the list of supported things. Like, we can't do that.
I can't stop
And,
you.
Jason's like,
No. Okay, we figured it out. So that's pretty cool that it's running in Heroku. It's actually faster than what we were doing previously with Azure on their free tier. Their free tier was just awfully slow.
Here you go.
So-
Mackenzie says is this true? It's the Heroku Postgres database hobby dev tier.
Could be that too,
There's
Mackenzie.
probably a bunch of different things.
The dynos do go to sleep, yeah.
You got a great compliment here. Look.
There you go.
Danny knows
The
what
famous
he's looking
Danny
wow,
Thompson.
thank you, Danny.
So let's look at another app you built that I like, and just talk about your graphic design here, this logo that you did for one of our projects here called a loan calculator.
Yeah, definitely. So this was actually a group application that I did during Coder Foundry. And so actually, I was working with Eli Jones and Jackson Holiday on this. And so they really did a good job on this. But I was a glorified vision board is what I was in this project. But I did do the graphics as well. But let's see here. I did not do this chart, but it is fun. But are you referring to this?
Yeah, exactly. And I always thought when I saw that, it was really cool. And then we gave awards out for this. I think you guys finished in the top 3, if I remember correctly, of best apps for that week. So that's kind of cool. One of the things we do at Coder Foundry is we give away Star Coder and best app for the weeks. So,
and I think we've done this one on the channel too, right? We've done the loan calculator on the channel before.
Yeah,
so
we did it
we did. We did a challenge, right? So any of you guys that have seen this before, this was, we have this class.
This is their thing that they did. So most of the stuff that you see on the channel, we do in the boot camp. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. And I always thought the logo was cool with the different weights on the fonts.
Yeah, that was the challenge too with this. I wanted to come up with something that kind of made us feel, since this is a mortgage loan calculator, I kind of did like the twist, like, oh, we're a firm. We have to be a mortgage firm, And so I was trying to think of a very cool, sleek type of logo that I could do, because a lot of businesses have last names pushed together, right? And so that's something that you're always going to encounter. And so I thought this would be a really fun opportunity to come up with a different type of design from what I normally do, something a little bit sleeker, something a little bit more businessy, high-end, financial, that's basically what I was thinking of. So it was really fun to do.
And Andrew said it was 3rd place and he still wanted a recount.
I did too.
He wanted a recount. You have to talk.
You're not going to find 11,700 whatever it is.
You're living in Georgia, man. He's in Georgia. He lives in Georgia.
He's very familiar with the recount process. Oh, that's funny. Hey, look, ZM actually says too, they're working on an advanced loan calculator for my job right now, a bank. While watching this, that's crazy. So he's actually working on something like this in an actual, real life work environment.
And that's why we pick these projects. As Cheyenne knows, we try to build things that do things instead of just toy things. So like people do have loan portfolio calculators. I'd imagine. I don't know this guy just commented at all. But I would imagine that he's calculating the profit and loss on loan portfolios.
Yeah, this says 70 input fields, 20 formula.
Right. So he's trying to figure out credit ratings and that kind of stuff, and categorizing them and putting them out. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, it all comes down to present value of money, which is what these guys have figured out how to do. That's kind of cool. What else do you got on your portfolio we can look at? What else are you proud of?
Oh, I got a lot of fun stuff. Let's go find out all that colorful candy that we got on there. This is the video that we actually won the third place.
The awards, yes.
The awards, and yes. We could check out something. Actually, this would be a fun one. So this was actually, I don't know if you remember this, Bobby, but during week 2 of Star Coder, you had us find the longest word of the string. Right. And you had us do that in 15 minutes. And I ended up taking it and turning it into another JavaScript mini website and just added that in with my Fizz Buzz and my Taco Cat. And so I added a couple others. So I've got like the fun little confetti library, and on all these things you can come and see the source code on all these like little challenges. Go to my GitHub or my portfolio.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of those extra sweaty things that we do. Like we interview you guys each week, and then sometimes I don't do it every week. Sometimes I'll come up with something and say, build this in 15 minutes, and so it simulates what happens at a whiteboard challenge or whatever, and it's like find the longest word in a string, go, and then they're sweating it out trying to do it. So
yeah. Oh, I like your confetti on Fizz Buzz too. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I love confetti and silly string and bubbles.
Who doesn't?
So if I can find a JavaScript library with all of that, then I'm all about it.
That's funny.
Okay. But yeah, so this one was just really fun. I just sometimes like to come in here and just look at my confetti fall.
Yeah, there you go.
But actually, another really good one that I did, I'll actually show you this. This, speaking of, you're like, hey, take a weekend in the middle of the bug
exactly.
Take
and build an address book.
And build an address book. And I was like, okay, I need a break from the bug tracker. Mind you, this is also the week that I'm graduating. And I'm like, I need a break. I'll do the I'll do the address book. So this is my address book that I did.
Okay. Cool.
And everything
and you
here
built it all in MVC and everything like that too.
This is all MVC as well. Yes, this is all ASP.NET Core Entity Framework, and gosh, this is loading kind of. Is it my monitor? Oh, it's clicking over here. Okay.
Yeah, we see it on this end.
We see it. We're good.
Okay. I see it on my other monitor as well, but for some reason this one's kind of lagging. But you can fill out all of these and just go ahead. You don't even necessarily need to fill out all these, but you can add these. All these CRUD operations are in modals. I discovered how much I love modals while I was creating these. But you can come in and edit these here and update them, and also delete. Oops, there we go. Delete this contact. Yes, please.
Look at all the handwriting and stuff.
You just built this over a quick weekend.
Yep. Just spent a day.
And so, and again, what this comes from, Kevin, is actual things that people get asked to build when they're interviewing for jobs. And so, like, of the type of scale of things that you'll get. And then, and so we make sure that people can practice, like, starting from scratch, can you roll out an app? And obviously, Cheyenne can do it. So. And
it was a lot of fun. I really liked the reiteration of it. And because when you're able to do something like an address book, which in theory is a very small project. It really is. I only have one model in this entire project, and it's contact. And so that's basically all it's around. And one model, some CRUD operations that you use a controller for. And after that, it's just making it look pretty, but it's reiterating it that really commits it to your head. And that's what I really liked about the address book was, even though I did it to take a break from the bug tracker, I was doing the same thing. I was still practicing the same principles.
Right. Okay.
So we have a question about your background here. Matthias wants to know, how do you make the cool animation in the background?
This is not something that I made. I can tell you that it is done with keyframes. However, this is a CSS JavaScript code that I had found on the internet and that I had messed around with. But someone else had created this, and I thought it was interesting. But it was a fun way to learn about keyframes as well.
Yeah, I like it.
I do too. Gradients are
all the rage right now. So like,
always cool in design.
I'm really thinking that in the next phase of my journey, in terms of education, I really want to get a little sassy. I'm gonna get a little more sassy, and I'm having a lot of fun in this whole front end design world. So if any sort of like smart stuff, like those JavaScript challenges, I appreciated those the most because I really like how it's an algorithm. It's a technical whiteboard problem that they would expect me to solve, but then I can make it look a little bit nicer, kind of pull out that design background that I have.
Yeah, and the thing that I want people to realize here is like, the job is building applications. It's not solving whiteboard challenges per se. And so like Cheyenne obviously can build your company or something, an application from 0 to completion. So that's kind of cool. And I think in our cohort, only 4 or 5 actually built this address book over the weekend. Most of them didn't do it. So
it wasn't really cool. Extracurricular kind of.
It's extracurricular. Hey, let's have some fun this weekend.
Yes.
So,
people are like,
that's how I partied.
Yeah, exactly. Now, speaking of weekend fun, I heard this rumor, and I wasn't in the classroom all the time, but I heard this rumor that you guys did some D&D during the weekend, or like you were like a D&D player. Is that true? Did that really happen?
Bobby, you're going to bring this up right now? Okay.
I know.
It was halfway true. So actually, I wanted to run a D&D game because I'm a dungeon master. I love D&D.
Right.
And I wanted to do a Halloween one shot. But we were getting
too busy.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, this is not going to work right now. So I was just overwhelmed, but it was something that we had all talked about. And so I think once a few of us kind of get job secure, then maybe we'll have some free time to actually play some D&D. But why, you interested?
That's funny.
You wanna
I've never done it, but I'll do it. Yeah, I'm a gamer, so like I play games and stuff like that. So let me get this straight: you're a graphic designer, coder, and a dungeon master. I mean, like, someone's got to hire this woman. So like,
I can also sing and dance.
Okay, there you go. This is the total package.
That's funny.
My gosh.
So like, all right, cool.
Hold on.
All right.
IWC is asking D&D Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. That's a game. Yeah.
Annie's got it.
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. So.
You definitely would be a good paladin, Bobby. I think so.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Crystal.
Okay, so you know Crystal? Okay, cool.
I do. Yeah, I do.
All right, cool.
That's funny. And this is true. Somebody needs to get you off this. Andrew knows what's up.
Yeah, I only play Destiny. I was playing last night, so like,
Hey, wait, there's warlocks in Destiny, right? You could be a warlock. There you go.
Warlock, hunter. I usually play hunter, and I was playing on warlock last night, but it's just because...
I don't think they're the same. Something's telling me you might have a different experience with warlocks than I do.
Right, exactly. I think so.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
All right. Let's go. Let's look at the portfolio. Got any other questions here?
Sure.
If you guys do have questions, though, throw them in chat.
Ask a question. Throw in chat. We'll answer them out.
Cheyenne about anything about her portfolio, about even her experience at Coder Foundry. That's okay too.
Yeah, that's good too. So let's do some technical questions. I hate to spring these on you, but like, so tell the world, to the best of your knowledge, what's an object? So if someone was coming to an interview, they're going to ask you this kind of basic interview question. What is an object in terms of C#?
So an object is an instance of a class. So I was showing you in my bug tracker a ticket. And a ticket is a class based off of a ticket model. So it's going to have certain properties. It's going to have an ID number. It's going to have a title. It's going to have a description. It's going to have the date it was created. But that's just all abstract. It's just a blueprint. An object is when you actually take that blueprint and make something out of it. It has the ID number 1 because it's now a thing that's existing. It has the title, error logging in. It has a description now that says, can't log in through this certain account or something. And then maybe it was created on January 5th, 2021. That is now an object because it now actually exists and it has those properties filled in. But you could have multiple different instances of that class, right? And all those, but all those objects are going to be different from one another.
Okay, cool. And so how do you persist those objects in like a grid and stuff like that? How were you doing that?
Persist in a grid?
Yeah, it's like you had a grid of tickets, and that's a collection of objects. How does that work?
Yeah, so the collection of objects, I actually organize those with a jQuery data table, but that exists on an index page, which basically is created for each model. Each view has an index page for every model, and that's where it's rendered at, and you can access all of those there. Okay,
cool. So
I explained that clearly.
Yeah, you did great. You did great.
You fantastic. Question from
Super
Alex.
Chat.
So Alex sent us $5 to ask this question. So thank you for the super chat, Alex. Super appreciate it. I haven't got many. I just moved from California, find a coding bootcamp located in small old, you mean tech capital of the world.
Tech capital of the world that makes the best.
He misspoke there.
He misspoke there because I sent him the cupcakes from the tech capital of the world that he liked too. So
and I saw his unboxing of those cupcakes on the video. They were a little bit destroyed, but he ate them anyway.
Yeah, they're that good. So how did you find us, Cheyenne? How did you find us?
My nerdy side.
Yeah.
So I found you via my nerdy side. I had started school about a year and a half ago, and I was learning about software development. And so I was wanting to begin my portfolio, and I didn't know what to do. So I started to YouTube portfolio ideas, and you had a thumbnail that said the one project to rule them all in the Lord of the Rings font, and I'm like, clickbait, I am in. And it worked, and I was like, this is such a good project. And I showed it to like everybody. I was like, I have to figure out how to do this, and I spent months on my own.
Okay.
I was like, I can't do it. I don't know where to begin. And finally, one day, I get up, I check my Gmail, and there's an email from Natasha, because I'd been following you guys for months at that point. And there's just a newsletter from Natasha. It's like, application deadline today. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. And so I went and I applied and I did the test and everything. And Natasha got a hold of me the next day, and it was just, it just took off.
Okay. So now you've built the one project. So that's kind of cool.
And now I built the one project to rule the world.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. I'll tell you the genesis of that idea too. I remember when we came up with it, we're sitting in the office and we were like, we're talking about like coding projects. Like, let's make a video for a coding project idea. This would be great. And we're like, yeah, let's do like 3 coding project ideas. And then we sat down and like, why do we need 3? Let's just do one. Let's just do one really good one. Like we did one really good one in the school. We do a bunch, but there's one really good one. So we're like, and I remember the day, and I was like, it's like the one project. And I was like, oh man, that sounds like Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna do a Lord of the Rings themed like card, and I rolled with it, and it just took off.
Yeah, 700,000 views later.
It definitely worked. It definitely worked.
Yeah, cool.
So here you go. There's another question for you, and thanks for the super chat again, Alex. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Alex.
Height Above Sea Level wants to know what made you do both college and a boot camp.
Well, I actually decided to do college. I enrolled last September. September of 2019 is when I started going back to school. And I knew I was about done with college, but I didn't have anything to show for it. I didn't actually have a chance to create any portfolios or anything. We only did like a whole bunch of little technical exercises and assignments, nothing that I could actually show a business. And so when I knew I was close to graduating and I had that opportunity to go to boot camp as well, I was like, you know what? It's not going to be that much longer. Just bite the bullet, get it done, and then you can come out the other side with everything that you need. And it was totally worth it. It was hard, but it was worth it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. That's great.
Very cool. And of course, I mean, you made it harder on yourself by doing both at the same time.
Yes, of course. And you can do yourself the favor and not do that. But if you like to be punished, you can do that.
That's great.
Okay, so any other questions we got there? And then,
somebody wants to know, actually, Matthias wants to know how much it costs for Coder Foundry. I'm going to put that up, but...
just go to coderfoundry.com. We don't like to turn this into a Coder Foundry commercial. Just go to coderfoundry.com. We have a bunch of ways to pay.
Yeah, depends on how you pay.
So, and then just so that the pricing isn't in the future where it may change or something. So, but just go look at that right now. Go to coderfoundry.com/financing, I think is the name of the link. You put it in there.
I think it is, yeah. Yep.
So there's loans and there's ISAs and there's cash and kind of ways.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Let me see here. Oh, Andrew also says, by the way, you never play the best class of Titan.
Played it last night, man.
Whenever I've played Destiny, I've played Titan. That's like the robot-looking dude, right? The guy with like but the guy with like the
you run around and punch things with it, and so if you're a Destiny fan, I just finished the Beyond Light quest for Titan now, so now I have all the stuff for Titan.
Oh, you have an Ulks character.
Yeah, I have 3.
Wow. Okay.
So you get one done, you got to do the other 2. So but we're still playing it.
Let me see here.
While you're looking, Cheyenne, go ahead.
So Priyanka wants to know: would you rather go to college or a boot camp? If you had to choose one, that's interesting.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You can be honest.
Not really. I am going to be honest. It's boot camp, honestly, it's unfortunate because I'm not trying to say that to down talk people with college degrees because I just took out loans, but that's I think a part of the problem is that. I took out loans for it and I came out the other side without anything to show for it except for a piece of paper that says, hey, I did this. I actually got hands-on experience, workplace experience, which is completely different than an academic experience at Coder Foundry. So going to a boot camp, you're going to get a professional workplace experience, but you're also actually going to make projects. If you're lucky enough to go to a college where your courses are designed around building a portfolio, then that's not going to be a bad option. But in my experience and from people that I've talked to who've graduated from college, that's not the case most of the time. You're kind of just turning in assignments and then you graduate with no portfolio and then you have to figure out what to do at that point, which I don't think that's the best way to go because, I mean, by the time you graduate, you're 2-4 years in, you already have all that experience, but no project. And so go boot camp because that's also experience you can put on your resume.
Yeah, I talked to a kid that was going to local community college here, and he had a C# exam. It was multiple choice. I'm like, I want to pound my head on the face. Like, why don't we just actually code something, and test that?
Yeah. And that's the thing. And I had a couple of my own, I won't say what classes, but there were some quizzes that I got that were exactly that. It was just multiple choice. And even, how there's like stupid multiple choice where they make the answer very obvious because there's one answer there that's like toothpaste. Like it's just something that has nothing to do with anything. It's like that. So if you're looking just to say that you have a degree, you can do that. But also I've realized more people are recognizing that a lot of people aren't finishing their degrees today because it's so expensive and they're looking more for experience. So, I mean, if you can have something, you're going to be the top candidate if you can have something to show for, even if you don't have an official education, even if you're just self-taught, you can show that you know more than the guy who paid $25,000 for his multiple choice degree.
Right, exactly. And I would I would bet like if 5 people interview and you're one of those 5 and you're rocking that portfolio, man, and like I feel bad for the other 4. Not really, but like we're gonna get you a job. So like that's our goal. So
Okay, and his we got another question here too.
okay.
So how do you prefer jobs in California or willing to move to a different state? That's an interesting.
Oh
question.
wow, that's deep. Okay.
That is deep. No, so a little personal question. I think I really do want to stay in California. I mean,
I think you have the options there.
If I have the option to stay, I want to stay. I'm not one of the people who relocated to California. I was born and raised here, so all of my family is here. And as we all know, it's really hard to leave state when all your family is somewhere.
Sure, absolutely.
So with that being said, plus I'm super close to the Bay Area. I know that there's a lot of opportunity there. So if I can't figure out something in California, there must be something wrong with me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're probably right about that.
Yeah. So here's a tough question for you from Danny. Danny says he always hears great things about Coder Foundry. Thank you for that, Danny. We appreciate it. What's the one thing you think we can improve upon?
Ooh.
Danny, I've watched so many of your videos lately, and now that you're interacting with me, I feel like I'm on the grill. Oh my God.
Danny's famous.
He is famous. I've realized that very quickly.
Yeah.
So I will say this, and I actually kind of discussed this with you before we went live.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have a note or a requirement to have an extra monitor. It definitely is not a requirement to have more than one monitor. But on my little laptop that I went through the bootcamp with, a little 13-inch Surface Pro, was really, really hard to do code along, switching back and forth from Zoom calls and stuff. And so I think that was my biggest challenge that set me back ultimately, because it was very easy for me to get lost. So when I would minimize the Zoom window and pull up Visual Studio and try to like catch up to where I was, or having real small columns for each window on my screen, it was super hard. And so there was a lot of times that I almost felt like I was falling behind. And I had to like kind of catch up and review. So that's not really so much a thing on the boot camp, but I think that's just a part of virtual learning. And if you don't have the right tools, you're going to have a harder time, because you need to have the right tools for the job. So I think if you're gonna be learning to program, you should at least have 2 monitors.
Yeah, we kind of put that out there to the cohort that started this week, that we feel like it's not a requirement, but it's like heavily, you need one. Just go to Walmart and pay the $80. You don't have to get a 42-inch curved monitor like Kevin, but like you can get a 15-inch, flat screen or something like that, and it'll just do wonders for you.
I literally one of the new guys coming into the cohort asked me about it, and I was like, we don't. It's not mandated, but you're going to find it so much easier and have a much better experience if you do. I was like, don't worry about the specs. It doesn't have to be crazy resolution. You don't need a gaming monitor. You don't need all this fancy, go buy the cheapest, biggest one you can get. If you're willing to spend $100, you can buy a 21-inch monitor for $100 easily. It doesn't have to be expensive.
And I think too, if you have challenges like learning, like a disability that makes it hard, like dyslexia or something as well, it's really nice to have that as well, because it's gonna help you kind of just stay organized and not get so lost on your screen. So I definitely think that all virtual learning, you should be using at least 2 monitors.
All right, cool. We got a couple of minutes here to ask another one. So you're a real warrior for using a laptop.
I totally agree. And when you said this earlier, I was like, I was like, you did that. Hold on what? On a Surface? While
going to college.
Oh, it was really fun. It was really fun when I was on a Zoom call and I was working on my a graphic, and I had to take it down and write on it.
Yeah.
I was on it while doing everything. Yeah. There was a lot of times where my camera would go off because I didn't want people to see my double chin, looking down as I'm drawing on it. So yeah, it was interesting.
Okay, cool.
Here you go. Kevin says 2+ monitors is a must. Get a 15-inch portable. I've thought about one of these portable monitors too. Have you seen these?
Yeah,
things?
that's kind of cool.
These are cool because I think they just one cable, right? A USB, and it's like that's pretty cool. And you can hook them up with a laptop. I think that's a good idea too. Yeah, and they're relatively cheap too. Look, Danny says he got for $120. He got a 34-inch ultra wide. Was that on sale, Danny, or is that the actual price? Because that's a steal.
That's a steal.
I got I got a wide gaming one. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't $120. It was nowhere near. It cost way too much.
Yeah.
Let me see. So just so you guys know, before this, Cheyenne did get extra monitors now. So
she got some for Christmas.
That was a Christmas thing. Yeah.
All right. So that's kind of cool. She's rocking 2 monitors now, so that's good.
3 actually.
3. Oh, okay.
That's why I was so confused earlier. I'm like so lost on my mouse. I'm like, wait, where is it?
Right.
That's funny. Let's see. We've got a couple of questions here. This one might be for both you guys can answer this one. Maybe this one more for you, Bobby. Though really, it's the best. .NET or Java. I don't know what Java.
So we answer this question a lot on the channel, and we make. If you can go watch why we planted our flag on C#, we made a video about it. It's not that anyone's better than the other. They both can build the same types of things. We just think that .NET gives you more opportunities coming out than Java does. But that's also dependent on where you live and what part of the world you live in and all those kind of things. So pick one of them and learn them and build stuff like Cheyenne has shown today. Build stuff like that with either one of them and you'll be fine. Yep. I don't think you need to determine what's the best one today if you're just learning. So pick the one that gives you the best opportunity to win a job.
Here's a great question. Otho, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, says, how much computer science should I know when doing web development? How much computer science did you know, Shaynn? Was this something you obviously gone to school for some of that?
None.
So, or nothing? Wow. Okay.
You know more than you think. Yeah, you know more than you think. But like,
more than you think.
Yeah.
I would say when it comes to web development, my previous experience was the little bit of HTML and CSS that I had used back in the days of MySpace and Tumblr. And then from there, that basically it. I took a few courses that kind of prepped me. But like I said, those classes as well had information that wasn't like I was actually learning it, multiple choice type stuff. So I had an introduction to it, but I didn't really know it or grasp it fully. It was only when I saw people actually using it practically that I was like, oh, this makes way more sense than what the textbook was trying to explain.
Right.
Like, because you just get textbook definitions and it's just kind of hard and it's just academic jargon and it doesn't make sense and you have to read the same sentence over and over and over again and you're like, I don't understand what a .NET framework is, and you're like, and then you use it and you're like, oh,
now I get it.
like that textbook. That textbook made it seem like it was a crazy thing. So you really just you learn it as you do it.
Right. And that's what we say at Coder Foundry. You learn by doing. So that's cool. Thanks, Alto.
We got one more.
One more and we'll go. All right.
Zim wants to know any tips on how to continue the learning and growth once you've got the first job. Feels like there's a huge cliff of learning resources after you're in the industry.
What I would say is that you're going to get paid to learn. Once you have a job, they're going to ask you to do stuff you don't know how to do, and you go out and research it, and they're paying you to teach yourself whatever that new thing is. But I think there's a ton of learning resources for current developers. There's probably more that than there is new developer stuff. So like if you go to like Pluralsight, I mean, they can say you can learn to code at Pluralsight, but really it's targeted towards people that already know what they're doing, sort of. And so like, and a vast majority of Udemy is like that as well, where it's all like, it's like level 2 type stuff, not level 1.0. Right. So, but I think you're going to pay you to learn. Like Shaynn, when you get that first job, they're going to pay you to learn whatever they ask you to do is, and then you're going to like, wow, I don't have to go to school anymore. They pay me to Google.
And you convince them that's SAS, right? Just
yeah, exactly. SAS. We're doing SAS here.
That's basically what college is, anyways. Googling. So.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So it's kind of cool. All right. Well, it's at the top of the hour. We're going to let you go. Cheyenne, thank you for coming to Coder Foundry, but thank you for more of that, coming on the show and showing us your stuff. And I think there's great things in store for you. And we'll be glad
so much for having me.
just let me know wherever you land and what your journey is, and we'll help you out any way you can. And if you're sitting out there and you're looking for a dev, Shyann Jobe would be your next Kenobi, your next Jedi that you need to hire. So you can do it. Ultimately talented. Very good. All right. But thanks a lot, Cheyenne. So we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Shyann.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Kevin. Have a good one, guys.
You too. Cool.
That's great stuff, man. All right, so we'll be back on Thursday. We got another hot show coming on Thursday, and we'll make some more pre-recorded stuff. Yeah, we'll do some more pre-recorded stuff. We're going to start shooting those. Get back on schedule here.
Yep,
as
we'll do a user Q&A on Thursday as well. So if you guys have questions about breaking in, that kind of stuff, show up on Thursday, and we will do that.
Right, cool.
If you're interested in seeing Cheyenne's work too, you can go to coderfoundry.com/Shyann Jobe. I also put the link in chat as well, so you can go check out her portfolio.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, I hope this helped you out, guys. I hope it encouraged you. Let's look to a great year coming, and good luck and keep coding. See you Thursday.
See you guys.